Hello and welcome back to Traffic Talks. For those of you who are new, my name is Pyro and I talk about things that are going on in my life. They could be anything from my goals to my hang-ups to anything going on around us, usually with a lesson, a few tips and a lot of laughs along the way. If this is something you would enjoy hearing, feel free to follow the podcast and subscribe so that you don't miss an episode. And to see what I'm up to, you can check out my Instagram page linked below. Thank you and enjoy. On to this week's episode. So recently I've been thinking a lot about the future, and I actually spoke to my friend about this when we did our little catch up, and we were speaking about the future, and not in your typical 5-year plan or what job you're doing, those kinds of things. This was slightly deeper. So that is my topic for today, foresight. And this is having the good sense to look forward, but plan a little better and more intuitively, if I can put it like that. Because making the right decisions is hard, but making it easier for you to make the right decision can be done. It just takes some planning and dedication. One thing I've been reading is that consistency is everything. You know, me and my routines, they are my life. Having consistency helps me achieve them, or at least make progress on them, and that is instrumental in actually achieving the goals that I want. But this can actually be applied to anything you do. And this is good or bad, because if you consistently do bad habits, you're not going to get far. If you consistently do good habits, they will lead to your whatever desired outcome. But for the sake of this topic, I think we need to reassess the use of consistency. Because for me, it's temporary. Like, I can be really good with things for a short while, as in be consistent, but then life gets busy and it kind of just falls out of the wagon, so to speak. And I always give myself too much skit when it comes to this kind of a thing, and I rationalize it as, oh, but I was consistent for this period of time, I just have way more on my plate than what I thought I would, so it's fine if I drop it because I have already proven I can do it, so it's fine. And that is a very bad thing, because that has actually become habit, and it makes it much more difficult to be consistent with things, because you've already given yourself permission in advance to start something and drop it, even if you are very good with it for a short period of time, because your body adapts to this routine and suddenly you stop doing it, and then you fall back into bad habits or even worse habits than what you had before, which is just hindering you instead of helping you in every single way possible. One example I can think of is that for me, with my yoga, I used to do it every single Sunday at least, and when I was doing it consistently every Sunday, I enjoyed it so much I tried to do it at least 2 to 3 times in the week. So I would do it Sunday, I'd maybe do it Monday, I'd do it Wednesday, I'd do it Friday, and then repeat. So I got very consistent with it, and even did a yoga challenge where I did, I think, 2 straight weeks of yoga with Adrian. It was one of her challenges. I love it. I love her and her channel and just everything about it. But what I realized was I stuck to it for 2 weeks instead of 30 days. And then I forgave myself, so to speak, for not continuously doing it. I dropped out of doing my Sunday stretch, and then I didn't do yoga or any form of exercise during the weeks after that. And being able to pick up yoga or any form of exercise a week or 2 of not doing it is easy, or at least easier. But with me, I didn't do it for more than a month. And that flexibility you gained is gone, and because you're lazy, it's even harder. So instead of being on par with where you were actually even further away from that. So now you have to work twice as hard to just get back to where you were, and even harder to supersede that just to increase your level to something healthier. And that is the worst thing I could have done. So please treat it like a warning and don't do it. If there's obviously issues, try and take a break and just heal yourself, but never stop your good habits completely. If you fall off the wagon for a week and you're on holiday and whatever, that is okay. Understand, you can get back to it next week when you aren't on holiday. But for me, forgiving myself has been a hindrance instead of a help. So forewarned is forearmed. One thing about foresight is that they say hindsight is 20/20, and that is firmly true. Because being able to look back is pointless if you don't use the information you get. By this, I mean you look back and you see the good and the bad that has happened, and you can use that to plan for your future. It can be as basic as you enjoying a certain type of breakfast each day, or something even as big as a holiday that you enjoyed. And by this, I mean if you enjoyed a certain type of breakfast every morning and it literally just brought you a small amount of joy, but it's hard to make or it takes a lot of time, find ways to skip steps or do things the night before. With me, that's overnight oats. I do like jungle oats in the morning, so overnight oats is a good step where I can do it the night before, take it out the fridge in the morning and either just heat it up or eat it cold, add some fresh fruit. That saves me time, but it still brings a small joy to my day, and it's something I thoroughly love. Something as big as a holiday again could be you saving up your money for that holiday so you can enjoy it, because you know it's tried and tested and true. You love that holiday, you enjoyed it, you wish you could go back, so why not do that? Another way you can do this is, like I've said previously, have an emergency fund. Whether something has happened in the past where you've needed money in an emergency and you didn't have it, or whether you've been lucky enough to already have had an emergency fund and been able to use it. Do something like that for yourself, especially if you aren't very good at budgeting at the moment. Make small goals so that you can save up each month, even if it is something seemingly small or big. Put that amount in and save it, even if you don't have much to spare, because you'll actually find yourself looking at things in a different way. Like I've said before, you actually start questioning, do I really want this? Or am I just buying this for the instant gratification? And that is all the difference in the world when it comes to saving up your money. Another way to actually plan out your budget if you are stuck is to look internally at what you truly want for your future. This could be introspective, this could be just a conversation with other people, this could be making a Pinterest board. It's whatever you do that helps you future plan. But think into the future of where you want to live. Is it in a different country, a different continent, different province? Is it a house? Is it an apartment? Is it something pet friendly, something not? Think of those things, and maybe even just do a quick Google search of the prices so you can see how much you might need to ballpark as your amount. Because having some form of goal, even if it is 10 years away, is going to be much better for you in terms of planning, and lays the foundation now already for you to get better at practicing and being consistent in trying to achieve these goals. And the earlier you start, the easier it gets in the long run. So once again, foresight. Like I said earlier in the episode, we always have the typical, where do you see yourself in 5 years question. But I want to go beyond that. I want to plan things very intricately, if I can put it that way. So I want to plan how I start my day, where I start my day, how will I get to work, what kind of work am I doing, what am I spending my free time on, what am I spending my off days doing, do I want a family? And these questions may sound weird because, duh, the job you have will dictate most of that. But I would like to offer you a different point of view. Yes, the job you have might dictate the way you do things, but I feel it's still possible to do things your way regardless of your job, or at least be able to bend the rules a little to suit yourself. Because with me, I currently get up early in the morning, at least 2 hours before I start my job. I wake up early for myself to ease myself into my day. I drive my sister to school, which feels like the equivalent of driving to work. It helps get me in the right mindset, so by the time I arrive back at home, I have my breakfast, I have my coffee, and then I start work. I am able to do things my way, regardless of the fact that I still need to work at a certain time each day. This can be good for future planning because if you know how you want to feel, you can find things that will add and aligns to that particular goal of how you want to feel. And if you don't know how, you can figure it out. It's not something impossible. It's not something not done before. Not everything has to be learned from the experience of someone else. You can figure it out on your own, because this COVID thing and this working from home thing, yes, it has been done, but not to the extent that's come about recently. So for me, I've been able to figure out my morning routine. For you, you may be still learning, and that's absolutely fine. But experiment and try different things and find out what works for you without giving too much away, because obviously I'm doing this under a pseudonym. I will obviously be using myself as an example with something as simple as my morning routine. So this would be my ideal morning routine. I would like to start it by getting up and putting on my slipper socks, which is a much more durable sock, but you can wear it like a slipper, and it's got these little non-stick rubber dots at the bottom, so it's perfect for walking around. And because my room is upstairs, it's very safe to use on the stairs. That aside, I get up, put my slipper socks on. I would then make my bed, go to my bathroom for my morning routine, which includes my teeth and my skincare routines, because you gotta floss, you gotta brush, you gotta mouthwash, and then skincare and all that. I would then love to get on some yoga gear, do some morning stretches, then go downstairs for a smoothie, and then maybe sit and read or meditate or something like that. And for me, that is my ideal morning routine. I would love to get there one day. I'm not there yet, but that is what I would love to do. My current actual routine is I get up, do my morning routine in terms of like skincare, bathroom, those kinds of stuff, and then get my sister out the door to school, come back, eat, start work. Very simple, very basic. It's still winter, so I don't want to get out of bed, and that's understandable. I'm good with that. But by thinking about the way I want to get up in the morning and what I want to do in the morning, this helps me plan for the future. And before you say, you crazy, let me explain why. So, knowing that I want to have my slipper socks and my bed and my bathroom all in alignment, so to speak, tells me that I want to have my bedroom with an ensuite or at least a decent sized bathroom. So I know I'm looking at a room, and that's in a house. It would have to obviously be quiet, meaning I would ideally like to own a house. I've been umming and ahhing about, do I buy a house? Do I buy an apartment? Do I buy something in a complex? And I've decided I want to buy a house. For me, this routine helps me figure out what my house would need to look like. If I want to do morning yoga, I would need a decently sized space where I could do it, or a yard if it's warm enough in summer or something like that. Be specific about my smoothie. It tells me what I want in my kitchen and what I want that environment to look like. Making my bed, what do I envision my room looking like? It's all these small things that add up. I want to eventually be able to do yoga, meditation, reading, those kinds of things. So I will need those kinds of comfortable spaces to do that activity in, so I can already envision what I want my house to look like and how I want it to basically be laid out. And that's just those. I have a skincare routine and a morning brushing my teeth routine. I don't even know what to call that. Just like my morning face routine. But I would know I would want my skincare lined up in a certain order and those kinds of things. So I would need a nice bathroom. It would need to be a bigger size. It would have to have counter space. Those are small things people don't take into account when buying a house, especially your bathroom, your bedroom, and your kitchen. And to me, those are my 3 main focuses. So even just making my morning smoothie, it tells me I need to have a fridge freezer combo. Do I want it together? Do I want it separate? I'm gonna need counter space to cut up my fruit and veg for the smoothies. There's all these small things that go into it, but by thinking of it now, you can plan ahead and use that to envision what you want it to look like. And the beauty of this is you don't need to fit into anyone else's mold. You do you. So I've been thinking about that, and that's just my ideal morning routine. Like I said, routines have been keeping me sane lately, so I've definitely been thinking about it, and it's been helpful to me in terms of not only what I want my house to look like, what I want my routines to look like, so I can start putting in the habits in order to get it to that level, but it's also helped me see the kind of person I want to become, as well as it helps me plan how I can put some of those big ticket items into play now already. For example, buying some of the things I already own. For example, my desk, my bed, my cupboard, my yoga mat. I already have those small things. I already have a smoothie maker and a microwave. So small things that I can buy now and use that I can eventually move into my new home. Those are future planning items. And if you can't afford to buy them now, maybe save up or go on to places that can give you things secondhand. That's always an option. But planning for the future, no matter how old or young you are, is going to be the best thing you can do. This felt a bit rambly and it's probably very long, so I'm gonna wrap it up right here. But the main focus of, hopefully, that you got out of this episode was that you can look not only at your past and your present to help you with your future, but you can look inwards to the core of who you are and figure out truly what you actually want and not what's trending on Instagram, and try and mimic that, because it's just not gonna do anyone any good. So that's it. The song of this week is a song I went back to go look for, and it's called Old Ways by Demi Lovato. So I'm a huge Demi fan, it's no secret. This song is all about not going back to your old ways, i.e. your old habits, and that is the perfect reminder to look to the future and to look forward and to develop good habits and to continuously work on them. I'm getting tongue-tied, so I'm completely done. If you have any comments, please leave them below. You can check out my Instagram linked below. Do not forget to subscribe, and always remember to be a better being. I will see you in the next one. Love you. Bye.